What's cracking, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Honda Recap. This is episode 11. Everyone seemed to upload towards the end of the week, but it doesn't matter because I got you in this. Let's get this started. How's everybody doing? I hope you had a great weekend, and thank you for tuning in for yet again another week of the Honda Recap. If this is your first episode, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell so you're notified every Monday night at 8 when this airs. If this is your first episode, like I just said, what I'm trying to do is basically go over what happened in the past week in the Honda community and kind of bring it all together in one little show on what people have been up to with their cars and their builds and hopefully their lives and what's been happening in the past week. So to kick this off, I'm going to do it with Boosted Boys. Kyle is in Florida with a bunch of other YouTubers, and they're basically drag racing their hearts out to see who can do the fastest the half mile and a couple other events right now. But if you've been following along for the past couple weeks and near a month, Kyle's been working on an H22 swapped turbo Odyssey minivan. And I think at this point it's up to 730 horsepower, stock transmission, and he's out there pulling on people. He actually most recently just took Leroy, Cletus McFarland's car, who's nearing 1,000 horsepower, but probably a little bit over 700 as well. And he did go a bit faster, and I think the most Kyle did was somewhere near 140 miles an hour in the van, which is pretty fast for a van, and just in general, that's pretty fast. Everyone out there is also doing about 150, 160 maybe, but it's also really great to see the progress that Kyle's made and all the work that he's put in that van, and now he's out there with a bunch of other YouTubers going as fast as possible down the track. I think he did blow out third gear, but like I said, it's the stock transmission, a junkyard transmission at that. But there's a few more days and a couple other events, so I think everyone should pretty stay tuned to a couple channels. Tommy F. Yeah is also there, the dude in blue, Cletus McFarland. And like I said, Boosted Boys is just out there doing everything it can. Up next, we got Honda Street Garage. It's been a while since Mark did a walk around of his car, and after all the effort and all the work that he's put into it, swapping in a K20A2 and matching trans into his car, getting the PCI side skirts and a bunch of other goodies under the hood installed, he decided, you know, it's probably a good time I'll walk around and show you everything that I've done to this car. Like I said, I love when people do this at the beginning of the year, or just in general, so that way when people want to get involved in the channel and feel like they missed out, they don't have to run around and just be like, oh my god, what have I missed? So now's a good time to definitely check that out. He did a good walk around of his car. He's got beautiful Recaros on the inside, like I said, a K20A2 on the inside, which is the Acura RSX Type S engine. One thing I did pick up when he was doing the walk around of his car is he is using the JDM K20A ECU. This is actually really cool to know because the K20A2 here in the US came in the RSX Type S, which you will need the matching key, immobilizer, and ECU to make everything want to talk to each other correctly. The K20A ECU in Japan does not have an immobilizer. The K20A2 here in the US and Japan is generally very close to the K20A with some differences. Although, the ECU doesn't use an immobilizer, so it is a great ECU to use if you're going to swap that into your car here. The K20A2 is very similar to the K20A. There are some differences, and so the ECU does pair with it very well. It doesn't quite pair with the K20Z3 out of the 8th Gen Civic Edge SI, mainly because I believe a lot of the cams are a little different and some other tiny little things, but it does actually make the tune a lot different. So that's why the JDM, I think it's a PRC ECU, is actually a good fit for the K20A2 if you're actually trying to put it into your car here. If you can't go the K-Pro route just yet, you can actually find those ECUs fairly inexpensive and it will run you for a good while. But with that said, he's done a lot of other things with the car. He's got the ITR Recaros inside, he matching red on the inside door panels, and tons of other little goodies that go along with the engine. So like I said, if you don't really know what's going on with the channel, or you haven't actually had time to go and watch all the videos to see what he's put in the engine bay, now's the time to tune in. All right, back at it again. We got Hunter Tuned. This guy in the past week has been jamming. He got a Jackson Racing supercharger and he's put it on his B20 VTEC in the CRX. It's doing great. He's been having a little issues with belts and tunes, but he's really good with tuning software and he's also an amazing mechanic. So he goes out there, he does a couple pulls, something happened. I believe he actually snapped a belt, had to come back, put on a new one. The man has been jamming, but after his latest video, he's starting to get things kind of worked out. I can kind of see in his tone and kind of in his video that he was kind of worried that he might have to ditch the entire situation, but this guy just doesn't give up. So he's been at it for a while now. And I gotta tell you, it's been going really well. I'm super excited to see the progress that he's put into his CRX and the power that he's gonna make. And it's amazing to see that he hasn't yet hit a dyno, but he is doing tuning on the fly with his laptop as he's going. So props to you, man. I love the content that you're putting out. I really want you to stick with the supercharger, and I really hope that you figure everything out and you're able to actually keep it. I know that you were worried a bit that maybe the CFM wasn't gonna be big enough for the motor. You were mentioning that, you know, it was made a long time ago in the later 90s, so maybe the power that we're actually making out of the B series now wasn't really expected, but I'd like to think that you were pleasantly surprised when you got everything kind of working. I think you hit about 14 pounds of boost in one of your last videos, and you were pretty happy about that. So was I. So keep it up, man. I want to see what you got next. All right, next up I want to talk about a GSR build. That is Irvin Dorsey. He actually released a new video where I believe it's snowing where he is now. I'm sorry, man. I don't exactly know where that is, but I'm feeling it's East Coast because we ain't getting snow over here, and a lot of other people are starting to get snow now. But this guy doesn't quit. He actually showing you the assembly of the short block, putting in the pistons, getting everything lined up, and it's actually a pleasure to watch because this guy is literally in his room building the short block of his motor. It's pretty interesting. I think he has his kid in the background playing Madden, and he's just with himself, you know, zoned in, popping the pistons in, setting the rings, just making sure everything is set. I just really enjoyed the fact that, you know what, you're in there, kids playing Madden, and you're just in the zone, just doing whatever you need to do, even though it's cold as hell outside. You actually showed all the snow on the ground, and you had to go and run some errands and stuff, but that did not make you stop. So, like I said, if you're into Integras and you want to see a sick GSR build, Irvin Dorsey's channel is definitely one to check out because he does do a lot of explanation, and he also shows you hands-on what he's up to, and a lot of us really like to see that when you're sitting there actually putting your blood, sweat, and tears into a build, and then as soon as it gets into the car, it's just going to be amazing for you, man. So keep up the videos, keep up the explanations, and I can't wait for the next video. All right, all of you must know this guy by now. He's an old favorite. We got LaTommyLA. He went to a pop-up meet not that long ago, and it's kind of funny enough that I believe his shift linkage actually popped out, and so he could not do anything about shifting anymore. But luckily, some people had like a 10mm bolt and were able to actually help him put the pin in and hold it with a bolt, and then he could actually get home. So funny enough, that's actually a weird story, I guess, that, you know, not many people can relate to, but like Tommy does, he went out, got some OEM Honda parts, threw that pin in, and basically got everything going right away. Hooking that shifter up, got everything going right away, getting the shifter working right exactly how he liked it. As I'm watching these videos, I'm actually starting to point out little things that I actually like to talk about or that I find interesting, kind of like I was talking about with Mark and Honda Street Garage. Tommy actually is running an innovative shift linkage, but he also is running an OEM Type R shifter stabilizer bar. I think I have that right, because, you know, funny enough, he was saying that when he had the full innovative shift linkage, everything was so close together underneath that he would actually hear a clink as he's shifting gears. I've never noticed that personally, but he actually did, and he did know that if he just used the Type R stabilizer bar and then the innovative shift linkage, he didn't have that noise anymore. And he did show you some video of underneath the car, and you did see there be a decent gap in between both of the linkages. So cool fact. I never knew that, so I thought I'd throw that out your way. And this is the kind of stuff you get when you just watch people's channels, and after a while you learn chassis and all these parts that people run, and you find little weirdnesses like that. So as I find them, I definitely want to bring those up because that one was a cool one, man. I never would have thought of that, and it's cool that you did and shared that. And you know, if anyone else ever runs into something like that, just the little things, you know, you want to shift into third and you hear a little tink, well, maybe it's your linkage touching each other. I don't know. That's a weird one, but man, you figured that out. But like I said, another cool video. Glad you're just keeping things up, and it's actually really interesting that someone just had a 10mm bolt for you to just get home. But that's what happens, right? Most Honda guys, you're going to have at least a 10mm bolt sitting around somewhere. All right, back at it, we got Motor Spirit. It's been a little bit, but now we're back, and he's doing a little walk around of his car as well. He's getting around for the track days that should be coming up in the next few months. I believe he made some 3D printed air ducts, and he showed you how to put those in his car. He's got a really awesome side exit right before the driver's side tire that he's done a little modification to his exhaust there. Fuel cell in his car, and he kind of did a little bit of a runaround of how he did a lot of the welding for his exhaust. It's actually really interesting to see his car because he is doing everything by himself, even down to the welding. He had some pie cuts in exhaust and decided to put in some 90 degrees to kind of clean everything up. But I love the videos. I love that you're just gonna build a track purpose car and you're gonna get out there and you show everybody what you have built. And like I said, I'm really juiced to see you get that car on the track, man. I love that all your modifications are very, very hand built and one-off. And so is your car. So I enjoy your car, and I think a lot more people should pay attention to what you're doing. All right, next up we got SketchyDA. This is another Colorado guy. He has an awesome DA, but he also has been working on an EK coupe. The past couple days, he's had a D series in it, and he's been saying, yeah, I'm gonna pull it out, I'm gonna put something else in it, and today he decided that was the time. He pulled the D series in, and he put an amazing B series in there with a giant turbo. It's to be expected. I'm not sure, but it might be the motor that was in the DA. I have to go back and check, so sorry if I'm not on point on that one, but it was pretty interesting. He did a very, very quick recap on how to pull a D series out of your car. I did find it funny that he put the car on the ground and lifted the motor out with the lift. That was just a great touch. I kind of had a laugh to myself because I didn't really expect you to, you know, pull the motor out with the lift, but like I said, that's great. I also really like the fact that, you know, you didn't wait. You just got too excited. You didn't want to waste any time, and you're like, you know, I'm sorry, I didn't actually film me putting the B series in, but look, it's in. But I think a lot of people who are on YouTube and are trying to make videos, but also really love to tinker on cars, find that when you do want to actually make a video for what you're doing, it takes extra time. And when you're on a roll and you just want to knock it out, and if you have a full-time job like I know you do, you don't really want to waste any time, but you're just like, look, here's the finished product. I'll show you how to do a lot more stuff in the future, and I have in the past, but look, I just wanted to knock this out. I think that's another thing I noticed about Hunter Toon as well. He gets really focused, and he's just like, look, I just want to get this done. Sorry I didn't show you everything. But anyways, Wyatt, you're doing an awesome job. I can't wait to see what's going to go on with the EK. And I mean, you got tons of other projects going on, so I'd love to see an insight on what you got there as well. All right, to round off YouTube, we got Zosh. This guy has been on a roll. After the headlight fiasco, which he kind of figured out, but he does have that working, he did just get a top 1 diffuser for his Integra. So his latest video is the installation of that. It's possible that it's the first one on YouTube. It's possible that it's the first installation on YouTube. We're not sure about that, but let's go ahead and check it out. He is very excited. Christina is exactly coming together the way he wanted to. He went out, did some glamour shots. He had his friend help him install it, and it's looking great. It's been a 3 or 4 year challenge to get the car to where it is, and he's super excited about it, and I know everyone else is too. The diffuser looks amazing. I know he's excited to get a new, probably a front bumper, and then once the paint hits, it's just gonna be a completely different car. But it does add another level of aggression to your vehicle as soon as you put the diffuser on there, man, and I can't wait to see everything done after paint. All right, guys, you know what time it is. It's the time where I talk about a few Instagram accounts that I want to give heads up to, and just kind of ones that I find really cool and I want to watch a lot. So to kick this off right now, I'm going to go with an old favorite of mine, Thomas Fuentes. I believe he's in New York. He's a big Del Sol guy. He's been around for quite some time. I know he's got a street bike and possibly another car, but I've always been following him for that Del Sol. It's a beautiful car. It's black. It's boosted, and I know he's done a lot of the work himself. After it got dynoed, I'm not actually sure how much power it made, but I've seen plenty of videos of him ripping up the streets, and I can't get enough of the car, man. I think it went down and then it came right back up instantly, and I know you wouldn't let it go down like that, but I want to give a props to that guy. If you don't follow him, you should. He's kind of a big Del Sol guy. He's had it for quite some time, at least as long as I have, so I'm pretty sure it's been about 5 or 6 years since you've had your car, man. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyways, man, I love your car, I love your attitude, and I love that you're just always progressing forward with that vehicle. All right, next up is Mazavai. It's a beautiful yellow EK. Got ITR Recaros inside, and it just looks great. Every photo is just exactly what you'd want to see. I'm really excited to see what else you have going on for this car. And like I said, it's just accounts that I love to see. Whenever he posts a picture, I'm excited to see more. A lot of work he's put into it. I've followed him for quite some time. So like I said, I'm always excited to see what you have planned next for your car. So if you're a fan of EKs, CTRs, and just want to see what a really nice put together one is that's owned by a good guy, this is the dude to follow. Go ahead and check this guy out. All right, the next account isn't a person as much as it's a business, Checkeredsports. This place has a bunch of genuine JDM Honda parts. He can get you anything else you're looking for. Definitely has a bunch of stuff that they make locally. Shift knobs and anything you can think of like that. And they're all made locally in-house or locally to where he is. I believe it's Nevada. So like I said, definitely check out Checkeredsports. I've seen a lot of products that they had in the past. I know they have fender cutouts and a bunch of other things that they do support. His Instagram, which will always be in the description, just like everybody else's, has a bunch of parts that he gets. Mainly interior parts and exterior parts, wheels, anything you could think of, he actually gets, and it's very fair pricing. A lot of the stuff you can go in and pick up, or you pay for shipping and he'll get it to you right away. I see him commenting on it a lot, and he always shows up to support and everything like that, so I definitely wanted to give him a shout out. A lot of the parts he has are very clean. Everyone seems to be very happy, and I really like the fact that he's supporting the Honda community with not just new parts, but he is getting used parts in really good condition and just kind of letting people know that, like, if you need something, you can find it. You may have to pay the price. Things are getting older now. I mean, EFs are getting well into 30 years old, so to find quality parts for the EF and EG, you're looking for 25-year-old used parts in good condition. There's a good chance if you go to the pick and pull, you may not actually find them in great condition. So companies like Checkeredsports, I want to congratulate you and say thank you for what you're doing for the community. And I just want to bring a little bit more awareness to you guys. All right, last but not least, I want to talk about Brian Jin, aka Ren Motorworks. I met this guy quite some time ago. He had an NSX, I know he has an FD, and he has an Element as he sits right now. He's also a huge fan of the Honda Grom, so much that he makes turbo kits especially for it. I know he's got a motorcycle dyno and he's making a lot of products for himself, making bolt-on turbo kits for the Honda Grom. It's not really a platform that a lot of people talk about, and it's quite sad. You know, the Ruckus gets a lot of attention. The Grom is just that much bigger. When I met him, I went to his house. He had a Motocampo, he had his Grom, and he had a bunch of other toys there, and he has a lot of information in the scooter world. It's a great platform, and I really like the fact that, you know, like I said, he's building it himself. He has his own dyno. He bought the Element so he can take his Groms back and forth to the shop. If you're ever interested in that, I'll put the link in the description to the website, and if you're ever interested in turboing your Grom, that's the guy to look at. He's here in the Bay Area. He does everything in-house, so I just want to say props to you, man. All right, guys, that concludes the Honda recap. I wanted to thank everybody for coming back again, for enjoying it, for leaving a like, a comment, subscribe, tell your friends about this, and you know what? Just bring the community together. Start a conversation below. If you see somebody you watch, tell them you watch them, you know? Make it a fun community. I wanted to touch on a subject that a lot of car YouTubers have been posting this week. I am constantly looking for new content and new people to involve in this, but I would like to say that a lot of people have been posting that because of the new monetization rules here on YouTube, that a lot of people don't have a chance anymore, and that's just not true. If you've always been wondering why you see the similar faces here on this channel and you do see new people alternating in, that's because the people that have the biggest subscription constantly come back on a weekly basis. That doesn't mean they're constantly throwing money into their car. They are contributing, they are talking to the community that they've built, and they're talking to their subscriber base. If that's something that you're actually interested in, growing your subscriber base, from my point of view, you have to come back every single day like it's a job. There's a reason that a lot of the hard work that all of these channels are putting in are constantly growing. Whether it's between editing or updating their community or just going out and having fun and wanting to share their lives with you. These are all things that people are doing out there, so you don't have to feel as a small channel that you don't have a chance. There's a difference between looking at this as a way to make money and looking at this as a way to just grow a community or be a part of something bigger. If you have the attitude of just showing up and wanting to hang out and making videos because it's fun and entertaining, you're gonna have a better time. You will grow. Keep showing up to the table and keep putting in effort every single day like everyone has for the past 4, 5, or 6 years. I'm not a huge channel. I do love making videos. I love editing and I love contributing to the community, and that's what I've been trying to do here. If I can give any advice to smaller YouTubers or smaller car channels that I'm actually looking for, keep showing up to the table. Keep making videos, keep a positive attitude, and good things will come. So with that said, I just wanted to, touch on that topic just a little bit, but not really get too in depth. I look forward to new creators. I look forward to finding new people. I'll see you guys next week, hopefully with some brand new channels. And like I said, guys, just keep moving forward this year. If you have an idea or you want to do something to your car, just start now. Keep it going. By the end of the year, you'll be proud of where you ended. See you next week, guys. Peace.